neighborhood told us off for making a mess in his yard. neighborhood 隣の住人 tell off にガミガミ説教する。mess 散らかって汚い。yard 庭。A neighborhood told us off. tell off ガミガミ説教。A neighborhood told us off for making a mess in his yard. Dolly resembles her big sister in every way. You can't tell them apart. resemble 似ている。big sister 姉。in way の点で tell apart を見分ける。Dolly resembles her big sister in every way. You can't tell them apart. tell apart を見分ける。Other rules, twins have a lot in common. ルール、規則。Other rule 概して、twin 双子の一方、common、共通の。have a lot in common 共通点が多い。have a lot of in common 共通点がある。Other rule, twins have a lot in common. I'm tired of doing the dishes, doing the laundry, and so on. Tired 疲れた。be tired of にうんざりしている。dish 大皿。do the dish 食器を洗う。laundry 洗濯物。do the laundry 洗濯する。and so on など。I'm tired of doing the dishes, doing the laundry, and so on. Tired 疲れた。be tired of にうんざりしている。dish do the dish 食器を洗う。laundry 洗濯物。do the laundry 洗濯する。and so on など。My favorite pastime is strolling along the shore. It's pleasant. However, お気に入りの favorite お気に入りの pastime 余暇 stroll ブラブラと歩く shore 海岸 pleasant 楽しい心地よい My favorite pastime is strolling along the shore. It's pastime. It's pleasant. My favorite pastime is strolling along the shore. It's pleasant. I'm exhausted. Let's take a break in the shade. Why not? Exhaust. 疲れ切っている。be exhaust. 疲れ切っている。take a break. 一休みする。shade. 日陰。Why not? もちろん。I'm exhausted. Let's take a break in the shade. Oh, why not? I'm exhausted. Let's take a break in the shade. Why not? Bob, this vending machine is out of order. Oh no, I'm dying of thirst. vending machine 自動販売機。order 状態。out of order 調子が悪い。be dying of で死にそう。thirst 喉の渇き。Bob, this vending machine is out of order. Oh no, I'm dying of thirst. He fainted with hunger and fatigue. He fainted with hunger and fatigue, but came to after a while. faint 気を失う。hunger 空腹。fatigue 疲労。come to 意識を回復する。come to 意識を回復する。after a while しばらくして。He fainted with hunger and fatigue, but come to after a while. The auditorium was empty except for a single piece of furniture. Auditorium 講堂 empty からの expect for を除いて furniture 家具 The auditorium was empty except for a single piece of furniture. Any up, any apartment will do as long as the rent is now low. I am not particular about it. Apartment mansion will do 十分である. As long as であ as will do 十分である. As long as である限り. Rent 家賃 particular 特定の be particular about 好みがうるさい. Any apartment will do as long as the rent is low. I am not particular about it. As long as the rent is low. Any apartment will do as long as low. Any apartment will do as long as the rent is low. I am not particular about it. His 60-year-old cousin inherited a piece of real estate by a lake. Year-old 才の inherit 相続する real estate 不動産 His 60-year-old cousin inherited a piece of real estate by a lake. So much for small talk, let's get down to business. So much for ここまでにしよう。small talk 世間話。get down to に取り掛かる。So much for small talk, let's get down to business. Lucy resented the aggressive salesman trying to make her sign the contract. resent 腹を立てる aggressive 強引な salesman 販売 make a do にさせる sign 署名する contract 契約 Lucy resented the aggressive salesman trying to make her sign the contract. There are a number of factors discouraging us from investing in stock. A number of かなりの factor 要因 discourage やる気を失わせる discourage A from doing A に不安する気をなくさせる invest 投資する stock 株 There are a number of factors discouraging us from investing in stock. Japan imports various raw materials and exports manufactured goods. import 輸入する various 様々な raw 加工してない material 材料 raw materials 原料 export 輸出する manufacture 製造する goods 商品Japan imports various raw materials and export manufactured goods. In the course of its economic development, Japan has abandoned its traditional values. In the course of の過程に、economic 経済の development 発達、abandon 見捨てる traditional 伝統的な value 価値観。In the course of its economic development, Japan has abandoned its traditional values. The world is faced with an unprecedented crisis. Unprecedented. 未だかつてない。unprecedented 未だかつてない。The world is faced with an unprecedented crisis. Be faced with に直面する unprecedented unprecedented, unprecedented, 未だかつてない、crisis 危機、unprecedented, 未だかつてない、crisis 危機。The world is faced with un, the world is faced with an unprecedented crisis. In short, the purpose of the regulation is to protect domestic industries. In short, 要するに、purpose 目的、regulation 規制、protect 保護する、domestic 国内の industry 産業。In short, the purpose of the regulation is to protect domestic industries. In order to keep up its competitiveness in the world, Japan must undertake sweeping deregulation in earnest. In order to do する目的で keep up を維持する。In order to do する目的で competitiveness 競争力 competitiveness 競争力 undertake 着手する undertake 着手する get down 着手する get down と取り掛かる undertake 着手する sweeping 広範囲にわかる大幅な deregulation 規制緩和 earnest 真面目な in earnest 真剣な In order to keep up its competitiveness in the world, Japan must undertake sweeping deregulation in earnest. We cannot turn out our backs on desperate people who are at risk. We cannot turn our backs on desperate people who are at risk. Turn one's back on 背を向ける Turn one's back on Desperate 藁にもすがる覚えの Desperate 絶望的な Risk 危険 Be at risk 危険にさらされる We cannot turn our backs on desperate people who are at risk. The parliament decided to provide developing countries with financial aid 議会 Parliament 議会 provide 提供する provide A with B A に B を提供する developing country 発展途上国 financial 財政の aid 援助 The parliament decided to provide developing countries with financial aid. Some say the British monarchy should be abolished. What do you think? Monarchy 君主国 abolish 廃止する What do you think? どう思う Some say the British monarchy should be abolished. What do you think? They should shelter from the attack but found no place to hide. Seek 探し求める shelter 安全な場所 attack 攻撃 hide 隠れる They should shelter from the attack but found no place to hide. They sought shelter from the attack but found no place to hide. There is little prospect that the two countries will make significant progress in disarmament. Prospect 可能性 significant 重要な大きな progress 進歩 make progress の進歩 disarmament 軍備縮小 disarmament disarmament 軍事縮小。軍備縮小。There's little prospect 可能性。There's little prospect that the two countries will make significant progress in disarmament. Significant. Significant 重要な progress. The negotiations are underway. Before long, they will enter a crucial phase. Negotiation 交渉 be underway 進行中である。before long 間もなく近いうちに enter に入る。crucial 極めて重要なフェーズ局面。The slaves were anxious. The negotiations are underway before long. Before long 間もなく近いうちに。Before long 間もなく。The negotiations are underway before long. They will enter a crucial phase. The slaves were anxious to alter their destiny. The slaves were anxious to alter their destinies. Slave 奴隷 anxious 絶望して。be anxious to do したいと絶望する。alter 変える。destiny 運命。The slaves were anxious to alter their destinies. The aristocrats abused their privilege. The aristocrats abused their privilege to their heart's content. アリストクラスト、貴族。abuse 乱用する。privilege 特権。content 満足している。due to one heart's contents 思う存分踏みする。due to one's heart's contents 満足している。The aristocrats abused their privilege. The aristocrats abused their privilege to their heart's content. The revolution in itself bore no fruit after all. Revolution 革命 in itself それ自体は bear 抱える辛抱する実らす。bear 抱える実らす。bear 難しいねんな。抱える耐える実らす。フルーツ果実成果。bear fruit 成果を生む。after all 結局やはり。The revolution in itself bore no fruit after all. Bob cut in on our conversation saying I'm against it, but everybody ignored him. Cut in 割り込む conversation 会話 be against 反対である ignore 無視する。Bob cut in on our conversation saying I'm against it, but everybody ignored him. We skipped his turn on purpose. skip する飛ばす turn 順番 on purpose わざと。We skipped his turn on purpose. He saw someone being blind, but he turned a blind eye. ブリー、いじめる。blind、目の見えない。turn a blind eye、見て見ぬふりをする。turn a blind eye、見て見ぬふりをする。He saw someone being blind, but he turned a blind eye. When Nick and I cheated on an exam, I was suspended from school. As for Nick, he got away with it. cheat, cheat, 不正する。cheat on、カンニングする。suspect、不正行為をする。suspect、する、定職にする。suspend、する、定職にする。as for はというと、get away with、逃れる。get away with、get away with。When Nick and I cheated on an exam, I was suspended from school. As for Nick, he got away with it. They are hostile to Richard because they are jealous of his wealth and status. Hostile、敵対的な。jealous、嫉妬深い。be jealous of、妬んでいる。wealth、富。status、地位。hostile、敵対的な。jealousy、嫉妬深い。be jealous of、妬んでいる。wealth、富。status、地位。They are hostile to Richard because they are jealous of his wealth and status. I hate him. He behaves as if he were somebody. hate が大嫌い。behave 振る舞う。as if まるでふにゃらであるように。somebody すごい人、大物。I hate him. He behaves as if he were somebody. I hate him. He behaves as if he were somebody. In spite of a compliment, he hovered, frowned, and turned away. He was so rude. In spite of にもかかわらず、compliment 褒め言葉、frown 顔をしかめる、turn away 顔を背ける、rude 失礼な。In spite of our compliments, he hovered and turned away. He was so rude. He claimed that the enormous property was at his disposal. claim だと主張する enormous 莫大な property 財産 disposal 自由にできる claim that、he claimed that the enormous property was at his disposal 自由に at one's disposal 自由にできる the more stubborn you are, the more isolated you become. The more すればするほど。The more stubborn you are, the more isolated you become. stubborn 頑固。isolate 孤立した。The more stubborn you are, 頑固な。The more stubborn you are, the more isolated you become. Don't beat around the bush. What am I supposed to do? Just wait and see. Time will tell. bush 茂み。beat around the bush 話をじらす。beat around the bush. beat around the bush. suppose だと思う。be supposed to do するものだと思われている。just wait and see. 慌てず待つしかない。time will tell 時が経てばわかる。 Don't don't beat around the bush. What am I supposed to do? Just wait and see. Time will tell. ちょっと多いねんな。1時間半かかんのかよ。マジかよ。Please hand in your assignment via email no later than 5 p.m. on June 10. hand in を提出する assignment 課題 via 経由でを使って no later than までに Please hand in your assignment via email no later than 5 p.m. on June 10. Joe is anything but diligent. That's why he flunked math again. Anything but とても不にゃらとは思えない。決して不にゃららでない。diligent 勤勉な。That's why という、そういうわけでだ。フランク落とす。マス数学。要は勤勉なんてとんでもない。Joe is anything but delight. anything but とは思えない。delight 勤勉な。That why というわけで。フランク落とす。マス数学。Joe is anything but diligent. Joe is anything but diligent. That's why he flunked math again. That's why こういうわけでだ。That's why he flunked math again. This doesn't make sense. To begin with, its name is obscure. Thesis 論文 make sense 意味をなす。To begin with まず第一に them theme で主題 obscure 曖昧な is this doesn't make sense To begin with, its them is obstacle. To begin with, its them is obstacle. 曖昧。Theme is obstacle. His essay was concise and to the point. Essay 小論文。concise 簡潔な to the point 要領を得た。His essay was concise and to the point. How are you going to deal with this complicated problem? Leave it to me. It's a piece of cake. Deal with に対処する。complicate 複雑な。Leave A to B. A を B に任せる。A piece of cake 朝飯前。How are you going to deal with this complicated problem? Leave it to me. It's a piece of cake. Leave it to me. A を B に任せる。Nick, I want you to look this over before I turn it in. Sorry, but I have my hands full right now. Look over that 目を通す。turn in を提出する。I have my hands full 手が離せない。right now 今現在。Nick, I want you to look this over before I turn it in. Sorry, but I have my hands full right now. What if I don't meet the deadline? I bet he'll get mad at you. What if もし売れないならどうなるだろう ?meet 満たす。deadline 締め切り。meet the deadline 期限を間に合わせる。bet かける。I bet きっと不にならない。mad 腹を立てる。What if I don't meet the deadline? I bet he'll get mad at you. 5って何 ?45 ってことは、9ずつやったら5日か。9でええんか、じゃあ。9やったな。The summary leaves nothing to be desired apart from the table handwriting. Summary 要約 desire 強く望む leave nothing to be desired 申し分ない leave nothing to be desired 申し分ない apartment apart from 以外は、terrible ひどい、handwriting 手書き。Your summary leaves nothing to be desired apart. Your summary leaves nothing to be desired apart from the terrible handwriting. Apart from 以外は。You ought to think over whether the promise is valid or not. ought to do するべきである。think over を慎重に考える。premise 前提。valid 妥当な。You ought to think over whether the premise is valid or not. You ought to think over whether the premise is valid or not. You ought to think over whether ought to do するべきである。ought to do ought to think over whether the premise is valid or not. Valid だと。You ought to think over whether the premise is valid or not. Above all, scientific terms call for precise definitions. Above all とりわけ、scientific 科学の term 用語、call for 必要とする、precise 厳密な definition 定義。Above all, scientific terms call for precise definitions 定義。とりわけ。Above all, scientific terms call for precise definition. First of all, learn the formula by heart. First of all, 何よりまずフォーミュラ公式 by heart 暗記する。First of all, 何よりまずフォーミュラ公式 by heart 暗記する。First of all, learn the formula by heart. To calculate the volume, multiply the length by the width by the depth. Calculate 計算する volume 体積 multiply 増やす multiply A by B A に B をかける multiply A by B A に B をかける length 縦 width 横 depth 深さ To calculate the volume, multiply the length by the width by the depth. Tiny cracks were found in the bottom of the barrel. Tiny とても小さな crack ひび bottom 底 barrel 樽 Tiny cracks were found in the bottom of barrel. Were found in the bottom of the barrel. This chapter will focus on the concept of geometry. Chapter 小 focus 焦点を当てる focus on に焦点を当てる concept 概念考え geometry 幾何学 This chapter will focus on the concept of geometry. Phil is much more interested in academic subjects than in practical skills. Be interested 関心がある。Be interested 関心がある。academic 高等教育の学問的な subject 主題 practical 実務的なスキル技能。Phil is much more interested in academic subjects than in practice skills. Something gone wrong with the microscope. I need to have it repaired. Let me see it. Maybe I can fix it. Go wrong with の調子が悪くなる。マイクロスコープ顕微鏡。have a done にしてもらう。repair 修理する。have repair に修理してもらう。Let me see it 見せて。fix 修理する。 Something go wrong. Something go wrong. Something's gone wrong with this microscope. Something gone wrong with this microscope. I need to have it repaired. Let me see it. Maybe I can fix it. What is an instrument? For instance, a gauge such as a thermometer or a barometer. Instrument 器具。for instance 例えば、ゲージ、計器、such as みたいな、サーモメーター、温度計、バロメーター、気圧計。What is an instrument? For instance, a gauge such as the thermometer or a barometer. Such as みたいな、ゲージ、計器。The minutes particle are barely visible to the naked eye. Minutes 極めて小さい。particle 粒子。barely なんとかかろうじて。visible 目に見える。naked 裸の。the naked eye 肉眼。The minute particles are barely visible to the naked eye. The minute particles are barely visible to the naked eye. Muscle tissue consists of a vast number of cells. Muscle 筋肉 tissue 組織 consist of からなる vast 膨大な cell 細胞 This substance is mostly composed of hydrogen and oxygen. Substance 物質 mostly 主に compose 構成する be composed of から構成されている hydrogen 水素 oxygen 酸素 This substance is mostly composed of hydrogen and oxygen. The exact temperature is 22.68 degrees Celsius. Exact 正確な temperature 温度 degree 度 Celsius 摂氏 The exact temperature is 22.68 degrees Celsius. 終わり !15 までやる必要なかった。